What's up, buddy fighters? I just finished uploading my plague deck, and I was going to do another one, but then I found my wizard deck, and it's still organized from the last time I went through my decks and make sure everything was nice and all the sleeves were good. But so I found a wizard deck when I was putting away plague and figured it was time for a deck profile on my first Buddyfight deck that I think I've had this deck the longest. And we got this. This is the sleeves I got from my first regional from an anime I really like. And yeah, down here. All right. So, we got Center of the World, Mary Sue, which is signed by I forget who it was. It was at someone from the event. I just had them sign the double rare buddy I had. It's been signed for the longest. I forgot who the idol was. There was someone there from I think Weiss Sports. One of the Bushiroad idols were there that year. If you can remember, let me know. 2017 was the year I took this deck. I think it was Triple D format. Yeah, it sounds about right. And I played this deck before I learned about Wizard FTK from someone who I fought there, who I barely won. Pulled a gal, and I just kept top decking a bunch of Solomon Shields, and I eventually burned them out. Should not have won that game, realistically speaking, against, I believe it was Oni. Yeah, I was doing terrible that event because I just got back into the game. I wasn't really playing the game. I just kind of joined it just for fun. Got my flag signed by Amigo. I've had these for as long as I can remember. They're kind of like trophies to me now for the game. Yeah, this deck is not updated with any Re-B cards. This deck is really consistent. I think you could run the Re-Bs. I do have them. I like with Plague. This is one that I know Mary Sue is definitely worth it, but the deck works literally about the same with or without the Re-B Mary Sue. It would probably just be another name in the deck for me. Unless I hard rebuilt the deck around it, which I do plan to do shortly. But yeah, especially, I probably will update this with the 10th anniversary stuff. But yeah, that's the buddy and the flag. Moving on for the deck. This is like end of Ace, pre-10th anniversary Wizards. We got the buddy, which was my first buddy. Center of the World, Mary Sue. She is play 2 gauge and Almighty Miracle. Search your deck for a spell and add it to your hand. Pretty generic, self-explanatory there. And yeah, she's going to just grab you whatever spell you need. Grandfather Clock, probably. That'll be it for that card. Moving on, we play one copy of Mary Sue. This one is not as good, but it's basically a net one. You get a draw off it. It's also a generic name. You'll see a lot of one-ofs in this deck. And then we have one of my favorite cards, Magical Sorcery Saki. She basically, I believe, lets you reduce the spells of all your Magic World cards by 1 gauge. So this can be very helpful. She's also a wizard in name. She will let you cast Nice One for free. Then we play the win condition for the deck, besides Grandfather Clock, Dukenheim, and Lich. Ignore the cat. Let her play chess. Let her play chess that we left out, apparently. My cat is playing with the chessboard in the background and knocking down pawns. She is a tyrant. Someone stop her. She's a filthy Dremel player. I need to reorganize all these decks. I'm going through all my stuff right now to make sure I have everything still. Trying to find something. But back to the deck profile. Apologize for the delay. This is how you win if you don't go first. This is how you beat over things. He is basically 10k. He's reduced by 2, size reduced by 2. He gives all your wizards 10k power, +1 critical, penetrate, double attack. He has Soul Guard. These are the twin attack brothers from the original Buddyfight series. And honestly, I think this is like one of the best cards in the deck. That's how you win going second. The only way you can punch over. There's probably other stuff you can do now at the 10th anniversary, but he's done me really good, and I think 3 is the perfect number for him. Moving on to more one-ofs, we have Ideal Girl Mary Sue. Again, this is just a wizard in name. Her effect has sometimes come up. We have another one-of. Their effects these effects are more so just like, they're there because they're wizards and they're in different names. You want as many different named wizards, and their effects do come up, like his effect. I cannot remember them for the life of me, because the only ones I end up using half the time are Dukenheim and Lich, Saki, and Mary Sue. I believe she's a bounce, and I believe he gives me gauge. If I remember right, you may gain 1 life. Yeah, okay, I do remember him. His top game 1 life, but top card of your deck into the gauge. But yeah, these two are, again, just wizards in name. Their stats, they're small, size 0, size 1. You want to have 6 different wizards for most of your cards, so the more different wizards you have, the better. Then we play one Suzuha, you know, the girl from the anime who plays wizards, the rich girl, the Mary Sue herself. I don't remember what she does, honestly. I just run her for the different name. Sometimes, like, with all these 1-ofs, they don't always come up. You're mostly just running up with the name. And when you cast a spell, put the top card of your deck into your drop zone. Oh, this card turbos you. And if it's a spell, draw a card. I'm reading that upside down. But yeah, that's pretty good. You basically get to mill yourself another card. Then we play 2 copies of this dude. He's discard him to get 2 gates, because you're going to need a lot of gates in this deck. He also sets up drop zone for you. Moving on, we have 1 copy of this Axia. He burns you. I would be running the Rebi Axia if we had it in English. We never... So I feel like Magic World got screwed, as well as Executioners, because Magic World and Executioners never got Rusafil Rebi, Chrome Jailer Rebi, I think it was, one of the Jaguars, and we never got Axia Rebi in the last promo pack. So maybe if Boost Road's nice, maybe the English print of 10th Anniversary will have a few promos that they haven't really shown us anything about. I highly doubt it, but it would be nice to get Rusafil and be able to update Asmodai in the way I would like without using proxies. But yeah, we have Axia. He burns the opponent. Nothing else really matters about that. We have Axia. He, again, burns the opponent. He's a good boy. We have Axia SD. We love him. We run 1 copy of the brothers, Dukenhain and Lich. Again, just another version of him with another name. Just another beater for the deck. Lets you pay more gauge because you're getting a lot of gauge. Get more wizards in your drop. Just another name on the body, you know. Just another body, another name. Good card, good beater. Has double attack. We have Chaos Tao Lao. Probably butchered that, but basically she's just another name for the drop. She can bounce cards. Her size gets reduced. Just another body. When we have one of my favorite wizards, but I don't really use her too often, Kaffy the Devastator. She's tanky. I believe, what does she do, honestly? Let's see. Again, wizard in name. I don't remember half of these cards because they don't come up because they're all wizards. They don't always come up. Like, I don't think I've ever used her effect besides like 1 game. Then we have the Wizard Engine, which this one does matter. These 2 matter a lot. These are cards I've played since 100. We have the Straight and the Ace. When they're discarded by your card effect, top 2 cards of your deck to the gauge and pay 1 life, draw a card. So they both pay a life when they're discarded to either draw or get 2 gauge. These 2 are very important to your combo and extending. These are like the most important wizards next to Mary Sue and Duke. Next we have basically my boy Andy. He makes the wizard's call cost reduced by 1. So you don't have to pay too much gauge when you're trying to call Mary Sue. And he's also a really good wizard, just a name. We have Herb Magician Tenjo. He's just Saki. He makes the cast cost reduced by 1, but he's a different name. Again, just another name to get wizards. We have Sealed Master Zin as the, I believe, last wizard of the deck. That's a monster, at least. When he's called, cop 2 cards your deck to the gauge. Really old 100 demon. Then we have 2 copies of the spell Kosher. I think 3 is too many, and 1 is too little. 4 is too many. I think 2 is good. If you have 2 or more wizards, you gauge and draw, basically. You can only use this effect once per turn. You don't want to brick on it, but it's a good extender when you have 2 or more wizards. You're going to see it most of the time. Then we play 3 copies of Nice One. I'm weird. I put all my extra arts in here. We have 3 copies of Nice One. Self-explanatory. Pay 1 gauge and draw 2 cards. It's also free if you have, I believe, Saki or Herb on the field. So 3 Nice One. Just generic staple. Then we have the best card in Magic World. Or one of the best cards in the game. No pain, no gain. Pay 2 gauge. Draw 2 cards. Discard 1 card. This is how you're going to fill your drop zone and loop over and over again. I remember when I read this card a long time ago when I was bad at this game before I actually got better at card games and started coming back to the game. I read this and said 2 gauge is a lot to draw 2 and pitch 1. You're only plussing 1. And then I thought about it when I was playing Wizards and I was like, wait, I want everything in my trash. Why am I so dumb? But then again, I was like still like in high school back then. I didn't really think about it too much. I didn't even have this deck at the time. But then I was like, I'd find where I put that card. That card's amazing when I was playing this deck again. That is how you will use the straight and ace. Then we have the win condition of the deck. Great spell, my grandfather clock. I have once done this 4 times in a row, and I chose not to win. I chose to keep looping it with this deck for as much as I could, simply to prove a point. That was before the rule change that you could only get 1 additional turn. I honestly believe that's fair, but at the same time, I believe if you work that hard for it, your opponent has the right to surrender. If they're letting you go, they're just as impressed as you are that you could keep doing it. If you have 6 or more wizards in your drop zone, pay 2 gauge, shuffle your drop zone into their deck. After this turn, you get an additional turn. This is called the grandfather clock. This is not going to get bloopered out. This is not going to get bloopered out because I don't have any editor. Yeah, just deal with that. Have a good laugh. This is the grandfather clock loop. You know, you're just going to get an additional turn in FDK. Enjoy. Enjoy. Then we play the best spell in Magic World, Sephiroth's Lecture. When you cast a spell, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 to hand, 1 to gauge. You can only use this once per turn. This is how you're going to dig deeper in your deck. Then you're running 2 Elegant Wall, both foil. Love this card. This is basically your backup plan if you don't get Grandfather Clock. You pay 3 gauge, you have 6 wizards. You take no damage and nothing can be destroyed. You can kind of stall with this and slowly burn your opponent. That can be a backup win con, but it's not preferred. I run this simply because it's the wizard and I have one. Great spell, Amana Suzu's Chance. Like I said, this deck could be updated, but it works perfectly fine for what it does. And even if you update it, I personally believe that the deck's win con doesn't change, and you just change ratios for spells you prefer. Like, you could drop this for another Great Wall or something else, but I run it because it's, again, a different wizard, and I like to have as many different wizards as possible. And then we have the best card in the deck, Type CL. Pay 1 life to equip, and then you may rest this card, deal 1 damage to your opponent, send the top 2 cards of your deck to the drop zone. If there's a wizard among them, get a gauge. You can equip multiples of these in per turn, and this is how you FDK and how you set up your drop zone. This is not searchable, unfortunately, outside of, like, drawing it or Sephiroth's Lectures, so you can't hard search it. But that is the deck, and it's the deck I've had the longest in Buddyfight. As you can see, I've had it since 2017. Actually, this is definitely the deck I've had. I've had it before then, so I've had it since the start of, I think the end of 100 I had it. But this is one of my favorite Buddyfight decks. This is the Wizard Grandfather Clock FDK loop deck that I just love playing. I'll sit there and test hands and play Solitaire. If I win the dice roll, sometimes I'll pull it out of my bag and just be like, so I'm going first, right? And my friend will just stare at me. He'll pull out his phone and go, go ahead, FDK me, we're brick. Because he knows how it goes. He either opens the spell gnaw for a Grandfather Clock or, yeah. I think the most fun with wizards I've ever had is fighting, I think, was Mystic Knights. And trying to beat over them because I didn't win the dice roll and winning going second. I think that is the most fun I've had playing this deck besides doing the combo. Just learning how to change your strategy on the fly is something I really enjoy about Buddyfight. It's very hard to do, but it's really fun when you learn how to change your deck. I do want to update this with 10th anniversary, so look forward to that. And I hope to see you in other videos. I hope you enjoyed the Grandfather Clock joke that just accidentally got bloopered in there. And enjoy. Ciao.